And on November 29th, 2023, the Bristle Boys, not to be confused with Bristol Boys, are back. Formerly known as Lottie and Mac. We're missing Angry Jay's absent tonight. In his chair, the Donfather moves over one, and the commish gets his own microphone this evening. As always, sponsored by Sky Gazer Brewing, keeping us afloat, no pun intended. And Capital Securities has gotten on the board as a huge sponsor.
Humongous.
Hey, Mac, what do you want to do with these phone books that Jay was sitting on?
Yeah, you look tall over there, Donfather. It must be the pomade. So, in tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about college hoops, the NBA in a nutshell, the NFL rundown, and we're going to tease you with some upcoming interviews that we have locked in. College basketball update, and this comes to you by Capital Securities, Joe Moriello, Vice President. Joe was telling me the other day that proper planning prevents poor performance, and his company's motto is a life well planned.
Let me write that down. Hang on.
I'm going to start following that motto, I think.
My wife already knows that.
When we say college basketball update, we're mainly sticking with the Husky Dogs and the Scarlet Knights, but we'll touch on everybody as we love college basketball season. Some big games tonight, big games this weekend, and things are really going to heat up now that matchups are going to get real with conference play. The Huskies, national champions, defending the title with a 7-0 mark. And they're not just playing, the Sisters of the Poor every night. They got a top 25 win over number 15 Texas, who I believe at that point was a little higher, right?
Indiana.
And Indiana, they got a drubbing, actually, of a Big Ten squad. Love it when Indiana gets pounded because they got some salty guys on that roster.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
done.
love the coach.
I've been down on them since the general left. They haven't been any good.
Well, it's a great job, too. I don't know what's going on with that,
How many coaches have they had in the last 25 years?
Crean.
Mike Davis.
Sampson? Did they have
Calvin Sampson ran him into the ground.
Who's this
put him
clown
on probation.
now?
Mike Woodson.
Woodson seems like he's big league in the Big Ten. Can he get
Who was the guy that used to be for Dayton?
I know who it is.
Archie Miller.
Archie Miller got some good fast break stuff out there on YouTube, coaching friends.
Yeah, they can't figure it out, IU.
And then UConn also beat a bunch of also-rans not named Bryant University. They have not played them.
Yeah, I saw
Dodge and Bryant.
They
Dodging
done.
them.
Yeah, and instead Bryant took it out on Springfield.
The Martellis like to mix it up, though.
No, they want to play. They want to play. They want to play the best. And we
Philly guys. Hey, Bobby Mack. UConn playing at MSG as much as they do now. How cool is that?
Unbelievable, right?
I love those neutral site games over there.
Yeah. You gotta love the Big East tournament, man. There's buzz about it again. It'll never be, will it? It'll never be like it was.
I don't know. It's getting there with these coaches now, though. Rick Pitino. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be like it was in the early to mid '80s. You're right, but they're trying.
But
that's for sure.
I had the opportunity to cover the Big East tournament and the NCAA tournament, and the Big East tournament to me was more fun.
Those 4 days are more fun. Yeah.
To be in New York, the bright lights, that all that kind of stuff. It's just it's unbelievable.
Do you see UConn's next 3 games?
I
love the schedule. Good job by Hurley. Kansas, Carolina, Gonzaga in Seattle.
Yeah.
They look like they're just as complete this year as they were last year, right?
Well, I think Sampson has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Spencer is the absolute fit.
I hate to admit it, but him and Carabin on the wings, knockdown shooters. And Newton, I'll be the first to admit, I wasn't high on him last year.
100%, me too.
I was completely wrong. Kid is he's a stud for college basketball.
Absolutely. I think
and they lost Aline. We saw him down at St. John's at exhibition game. He's no joke either. He's solid.
And I tell you, a lot of people are down on Diarra, but he has a role on that team. He's a dog. He plays defense.
Yeah, you're right.
He speeds them up a little bit.
He plays his 10, 12 minutes, and he plays the way Hurley wants him to play. And the kid Castle's only played 2 games. And they're saying he's going to be a lottery pick. He's only played 2 games.
But they keep hyping him up. He's got to have something. Because I tell you, the announcers who've done their homework are talking about him like being the real deal. We haven't seen it yet, but we're gonna.
Diarra, more like a Selvey or a Rudy Johnson?
He's a guard.
He's a guard, but
so more Rudy-ish?
Well, he's
more. Would you? Would you say like
Rash?
a Talik Brown? Rash is not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
'cause
Rash late in his career.
He's kind of a choppy player.
Seems
and
bigger
kinda,
than Rash. That's why I went with those bigger guys.
Rash had some.
I
Good,
think Jones is a good analogy, but Jones was more of a scorer when he first got to UConn, and then they just recruited over him. But by the end of his career, he had a nice role too.
Number 4 UConn at number 5 Kansas, Friday night at Fog Allen.
That's going to be a test.
Capital Securities Vice President Joe Moriello will be in the house because he planned this. He planned it out. A trip well planned. So the Oak in a big NCAA early season matchup, just about kicking off conference play, even though this one's not a conference. The Oak with a matchup.
And it's a
lot.
unique matchup. He's not going to see that too often. The way this guy's going to take him out around the 3-point line. It's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to that.
He looks so much different to me. Obviously, he's our guy. We're rooting like hell for him. Just looks lean, right?
Yeah.
And he just, man. Did you see how New Hampshire was trying to play him the other night? They fronted him with a 6'6" guy with no help behind.
That's silly.
How you think that's going to work out?
And minimal ball pressure for the guy
Yeah.
lobbing it into him.
Yeah, nice
I'll tell you what,
preparation.
Samson takes a lot of
Capital
pressure off him.
Securities.
Samson takes a lot of pressure off him. I think the way he's playing, he gets up and down the floor. He's you think about what they lost last year at the center position, but he's definitely.
You
helping
think
him.
it's almost like the roles are reversed? He's what Klingon was for Sonogo.
funny
Like
you say
those
that,
12,
yeah.
13,
100%.
14 minutes are come in handy.
His athleticism is like off the charts, and Donovan is really good at what he does. Samson brings that dimension of the athleticism that I think is going to make them a dangerous team come March.
Remember last year they were thinking he would come back and jump right in a rotation and be something, and like, nah, this is the year for that guy.
Did you hear the story that Hurley
He
said?
came back last year, right? Yeah.
Did you hear the story about Johnson that Hurley was talking about? He said all these coaches in the offseason were trying to convince
Yeah, oh yeah,
get in the portal.
Get in the portal, yeah.
Get in the portal.
Really?
And Hurley's like,
I don't think
kid
so.
wants to stay at UConn.
They protected him. You can tell
Yeah.
for good reason.
I think Angry Jay was right about Hawkins. Struggling.
I know a couple of people here that were wrong about a lot of things in terms of basketball. Wemby.
We'll get back to that.
Wemby.
We'll get back to that,
How much
Don
more
Father.
right can I be?
Right.
Somebody said Chet Holmgren was going to be a bust. How's he doing?
Yeah.
I know we're skipping over to the NBA.
How's his
but-
teammate doing?
Well,
He grew up in the bush.
we don't know. We don't know the full story on that yet.
He grew
Let
up in
that
the
be.
bush, right?
Let that be.
Australia.
Let that be.
Crikeys.
All right. Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights, recovering after the opening night loss to Princeton, 5-1. They take on the Fighting Illini Saturday at 4:00 in Piscataway, kicking off Big Ten action. To be honest, though, they don't know who they are yet. They're struggling. They're still missing a big piece in Mag.
Coming back, I think,
I'm
no?
thinking he comes back Saturday. I
do
don't
too.
know. But we're also waiting for another guy to come back or show up. That's Gavin Griffiths from Connecticut. I don't think he knows how good he is yet, or he's maybe just not used to playing both ends of the floor. But wait until he hits full stride.
He's
in
got to
the
figure
last
it out.
pack.
That's what
Yeah.
freshmen got to figure it out.
Illinois is ranked, right?
They got Illinois. They got Wake Forest and Seton Hall next 3 games. So
Are they?
They're going to find out a lot
think
about
Illinois is top
Rutgers.
25,
I think
right?
they're right on the fringe. Yeah,
Who? Seton Hall too.
they got Illinois, Wake Forest, and Seton Hall.
So I
Next
want
3
to
games.
talk about Seton Hall. Did you guys see Shaheen Holloway?
I did.
So that guy, he had the problem with Wagner's coach Copeland. He was a great guard for Seton Hall. So they're both Seton Hall alums, both guards. And in the handshake line, he pulls a Harbaugh, Jim Schwartz on him, and like shoves him and all this and that, and then cries, talks about what a great guy he was after the game. We got a double standard somehow with some guys that are liked, they get away with certain behaviors, and the people that aren't liked don't get away with them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Holloway was everybody's darling.
2
A
years
year
ago,
or two
everyone loved
ago.
him.
But I don't. What was the backstory on that though? Was there an exchange during the game or?
I'm guessing because
Who
they're
knows?
both like dog point guard types, that they don't wait for the action really, and I think they probably exchange a word or two down the stretch, maybe starters coming out or taking layups
Who can puff their chest out more? That's what it is.
basically what it is, and then that posturing afterward. Comes the time you got to be a professional. Just shake the hand and move on. If you got a problem with him, you can talk to him in plenty of places in that arena.
Yeah, I don't care for that kind of stuff. You're right.
There is favoritism. You see that, was it Kansas VCU, right? When Bill Self and Shaka started yelling because players were making threes and talking to the bench after, and Shaka's player, I think, got a tee, and Bill Self's player didn't, for doing the exact same thing. And Shaka's like, what are we doing differently? Like there's absolutely
so Self
some
gets away with
favoritism.
it. What is that?
Oh, you're talking about Marquette? You mean
Marquette?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, yes,
That's
I'm sorry.
I know what you meant, but yeah, I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, Shaka coaches Marquette.
It was VCU at one
Not
point.
problem.
but-
Hey, made his name with VCU Final Four.
Along the same lines, players too, and I've been watching a lot of this on Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. Executive producer Kevin Ross making waves back there. Expect that the Don Father and some short videos coming up about fantasy football. We have a lot in the works, but the stuff I've been watching, taunting videos are very popular. So you make a three and you scream at everybody. You dunk and you step over somebody and you that. Since when is that a lot? Those are technicals, and on the second tech you're ejected, right? But we got to have officials start cracking down on this because
That's
it's
what's gotta
creeping
happen
into
now.
the youth levels, and it's going to be dangerous at some point. Matter of fact, some of these AAU clips, they are dangerous.
The AAU kids are 8 years old, and they're telling someone you're too short.
Yeah,
Dude,
what
you're
is that?
You're 4 foot tall.
Yeah. The too short
Yeah.
sign?
Starts with the coach, starts at home.
Where was rapper Too Short from? Do you guys remember?
I think he's from California, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah.
Don Father didn't know it. Anyway, enough with the college basketball. A lot coming up. I mean, conference play is going to be crazy. This tournament will be as unpredictable as the last few. This is the best time of year.
Friday night is much watched. UConn and Kansas.
Yeah,
9
even
o'clock.
though it's a weird time, who's not watching
What
that?
time is it?
9
o'clock.
o'clock. Don Father's going to be in bed.
Don Father have his robe and his slippers on at that time.
Syracuse
My
slippers.
smoking jacket will be on. I'll have my pipe going at that time. Big win for the Orange last night. Come on.
Oh, God.
Red Autry getting it done?
By 20, beat LSU? Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
They ran him out of the gym.
Where was it?
It's a Dome. It's at the Dome.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Superdome?
I am rooting for Syracuse to be prominent again. It's good for college basketball in this part of the country.
Yeah, we need it.
I think you had a long time to wait, though.
It's good for the crap
I don't know.
ACC.
We'll see.
Get the Qs back in the Big East.
Oh, hey, man.
Them in BC,
Yeah.
them in BC has some regrets, I'm sure.
Let's shift gears to something everybody wants to talk about. The NBA, in a nutshell, can be wrapped up with how exciting this in-season tournament is. I have a couple questions, and you could speak for yourselves and anyone you know. Do you know, or do you guys care? What are they doing?
But I know what's going on. Do I care? No. I mean, if you watched that Celtics game last night, that was awful.
Oh, Hackett Drummond?
Yeah, they had
That
to
was
win
funny,
by
by the way.
24.
It's happening
It's terrible.
with every team that had a chance to get to the Final Eight. It's happening. Because I was watching the Knicks, and they did allude to what you were talking about with Drummond, but Julius Randle was in the game with 2 minutes to go, and Knicks were up 20-something points because of the point differential.
Yeah.
I don't view the games any differently. But a couple players made a good point on the Knicks. Just because, again, I was watching the game. They want to win it so the guys 13, 14, 15 on the bench get $500,000. That's motivation for that team in particular.
Well, they're going to lose their next game anyways, Nick. Doesn't matter.
Whatever. But I don't view the games any differently. I don't like that the integrity of the game, like the hack of Drummond type stuff.
third
That
quarter?
just I don't like that kind of stuff. And even Josh Hart alluded to it. He goes, "That's not real basketball." He goes, He didn't care for that type of stuff when the Knicks had all their starters in.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
What do you think, Commissioner?
1 out of 82.
I think it makes it more exciting now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Guys
anything
aren't
that-
sitting out of
Right,
games.
Right. And that's what they're trying to address.
Right.
So
How about you, Bobby Mack? I know the guys are playing, and that was the load management stuff. You haven't heard about it during these 2 weeks. One of the issues I have is, again, I'll take it from a Nick perspective. They made the Elite Eight, the Final Eight, whatever you want to call it, and now they have 2 regular season games before they play the quote-unquote playoff game against the Bucks on Wednesday. So if you're going to have this tournament, don't you want the continuity of the tournament?
yeah, they got
Now-
to figure it out.
Yeah,
But
they
they're
got to
trying,
figure it
they're
out.
Trying. I mean,
I don't think it's going away.
and the rules in baseball have changed, trying to make the game better,
Yeah.
trying to do things that excite the fans. I think it's a good thing.
It's going to come down what the ratings end up being for these things, right? In another couple weeks, we'll see.
But the NBA it seems like an organization that doesn't need gimmicky things. It's a global game. It's been for a while. Stern laid down the groundwork, and Silver is now like he's trying to be something that they don't need to be. The only problem in the NBA is that load management thing. That's it. The product is, I mean, you can't even afford to go to a game. I mean, this is crazy, and people all over the world want to go see these players play.
Would you rather see the Celtics play the 76ers on Saturday in just a regular game, or see them play the Pacers in the semifinals on Wednesday night?
In Vegas.
Yeah.
I'd rather see them playing the 76ers than the Pacers because it's an in-season tournament. That's me. I don't watch every game.
Me too. Instead of going to a hockey arena in Vegas, it seems like Silver, he's got a little too much juice in the NBA. He's not a dictator. He's the commissioner.
It's because he's still living in the shadows of Stern, right?
Commish, would you do that? Would you disrupt the whole podcast, just because you want?
I have plenty of time. So.
Okay, yeah.
Mostly by my absence, but
The commish.
You've been busy.
I've been busy. Yeah.
You got bigger things to worry about this weekend.
Which we'll talk about in a moment. Anyway.
Good tease.
So there's 8 teams left. Is that right?
Yep.
And they'll play like a quarter semi-final?
Yeah, the Knicks play the Bucks and the Pacers play the Celtics, correct, in the East? And then out West, I don't know who plays who, but it's Lakers, Suns,
Kings,
and New Orleans.
Impromptu, who'd you rather?
Kings play New Orleans.
SGA or Halliburton? I asked my son this the other day.
I think he's unbelievable. SGA is unbelievable.
Man, this kid Halliburton, he could shoot better than I thought, though. I mean, it doesn't look good, but it goes in. I'll take Halliburton. I mean, I've seen some stat lines where he's like 32 and 15 assists. That doesn't happen in the NBA anymore.
Because they score. I mean,
I know they're up and
scoring
down,
130 points a game.
Throwing lobs to Obi.
My son said that SGA is already him and Halliburton's going to be him, and I think I could live with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm partial to the point guards. I love the point guards. So,
one last thing. I think maybe you said it. What is the purpose of the tournament? Did you say just to break up monotony? The season just started. What's monotonous?
it's based on the professional soccer leagues over in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Because they stopped their season for this in-season tournament, but they only played 6-7 regular season games, and then here comes the in-season tournament.
It's just to generate some excitement going in. You know, I mean, I
but
like
once you're out of it, then what? I mean,
You still play the same amount of games.
You know what happened? Because the Cavs got eliminated last night, quote unquote, and they picked up 2 extra games. So I think every team went in with an 80 game schedule.
You could adjust it by 1 or 2.
You can adjust. They're also going to play 82 games, except the 2 teams that make the finals will play 83 games.
loser bracketish or like just in a.
No, like you lose, you're done.
All right, so this is what I think, and I hope the commission is listening.
He is.
When we get one of our
What'd you say?
possible new guests, he's going to have to listen because this guy will drop a bomb on him out of Bristol. I would say that you somehow figure out a tournament where it's a winner's bracket going to the end to see who wins it, much like an NCAA tournament, like seed them. As you lose, you get placed against other opponents, and you play the same amount of games. So everyone will play, let's say, 4, 5, 6 games, right? And then based on your records or statistics or differential in those amount of games, obviously the ones who went the furthest get paid the most, and then get all the way down to like where the last however many teams get minimal payment. So then you're still playing if you're playing for money, which I do love that idea. Let everybody play for money instead of once you're out, you're out. I don't like that. Once you're out, you're out.
That's a terrible idea.
Why?
What do you work for the CAAC? Come on.
What do you mean? There's no losers bracket in the CIAC and no money involved.
Of course there's a losers bracket. Half the teams look at the football. You got great teams like Southington and Greenwich and these teams, like you get teams that finish 4 and 6. They're making the tournament.
Southington was
So
6
6
and 4.
Yeah.
So that's not 4 and 6.
Maloney, Staples.
Why is he jumping to? Why is he jumping
what are you
to the?
talking about?
We
If
shouldn't
it's
be
gonna be
talking
Talking about CAAC. You were talking about the CAAC, I
And
thought.
Platt got in too, right?
My point is they got to figure out a way to have every team playing for something in this tournament format, so that when you lose, you're just not out.
I mean, the whole way through.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying. Every team plays 4 games in this so-called tournament. But your point is, win, loss, whatever, you continue. If you win, you continue to get paid, even if you move over to the losers bracket.
Yeah.
So everybody gets a trophy.
No. Everybody gets money. I mean, they get paid anyway.
We're trying to
Listen, the NBA's got enough money.
That's
They
what
can
I'm
afford
saying.
to do this.
I think Bobby Mack's point is we're trying to keep the players on the court, right? We want to incentivize
Yeah,
it
so if you want
little
player
bit.
15 to get paid, keep playing, even though you lost your first 3 games. James Harden.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lottie.
Well,
Sorry for what?
It just goes to show you the NFL is king. They don't have to do any of this stuff, right? I mean, it just.
Well, they're going to Germany and London. And all
Yeah,
that
but I
other
mean,
stuff
that's
too,
expand
but-
the game there. But I mean, there's no gimmick. There's no changing things. It's kind of like they got the product and the product works, but they got to change stuff.
Want to see Cuban selling half his stake in the Mavs?
And leaving the Shark Tank.
Yeah, double retirement.
We got a shot to buy the Mavs.
How many? What do we got here? 7 guys, 8 guys?
$2 billion for 60%.
Chaz Clothing. We need Chaz Clothing coming through.
He's
Yeah,
selling.
where is Chess?
He's selling 60% for $2 billion. He bought the franchise for I think $300 million.
Guy knows what he's
I think
doing.
he did okay.
True
He knows
story. I
what
once peed next to him in Pittsburgh.
Who, Chaz?
UConn Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. No, Cuban. He's a Pittsburgh
where
grad.
were you?
At Pittsburgh. UConn Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I was in the
UConn,
bathroom
Pittsburgh.
and then we
College
were sharing,
hoops or football?
College hoops.
He's not in a suite or like a private.
No, right next to me.
Did
Same with
somebody
Danny
hold
Ainge.
it?
Danny
Did somebody
Ainge
hold it
actually
for him, or did he have to?
I held it for him.
okay. That makes more sense.
Didn't he also invest in a vodka brand with Turtle?
Turtle from that.
He did.
Jerry,
He did.
Ferrero?
Absolutely.
What was the name of that? Was it Avion or what was it?
Turtle
Was
hat?
that Avion?
Was it Avion?
Because it wasn't Casamigos was different. I think it was Avion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Casamigos
Good
is
call, Mac.
Clooney,
Good call,
right?
Bobby Mac.
Turtle.
Yes,
Turtle wanted
Casamigos
that.
is cool. Yep.
All right,
So we digress.
Celtics best record in the NBA. Doesn't matter just yet, but they do look pretty good.
Without Porzingis already hurt.
Yeah, I know. One of your predictions. You know what though? They need him down the stretch. That's what I need.
100%. 2 weeks.
Best thing in the NBA right now, Lottie. Don't get in there with the Knicks.
No, I don't have much to say about him.
Best thing in the NBA right now, the most satisfying thing, is the Clippers.
Imploding. Love it. Who wouldn't have predicted that, though?
I mean, I don't want to dislike Kawhi or Paul George, but I do just because they're playing with that jackass.
Why would anybody take him on? I'm not even talking about the money. I'm talking about the player. Why would you want him in your organization?
Yeah, you don't need to sell tickets in LA. Your seats are full.
I wouldn't buy a ticket just because James Harden's coming to town. I hate that style of basketball.
Jack will be there anyway. At least for the Lake Show, he will.
What is it? How bad are they doing? Imploding, right?
Are they 0-7 since they got him?
No, though they've won since they got
They've
him.
won a couple lately, but I think they were 0 for something for a while.
Once they
with
moved
him.
Westbrook to the bench.
He's always the one that sacrifices.
But at least
though.
he plays. I don't like him, but at least he plays hard.
He plays hard, but he's always the one that comes out and sacrifices and says, "I'll take a back seat so we can get some chemistry."
Well, how many times are you going to go after a fan in the stands?
Oh, I know. No, I'm not,
Shut up.
I'm not
Come
talking
on.
about that. I'm not talking about that. I agree with you. Yeah, that's enough is enough.
They're 7-9 overall. Yeah, he can't reform. The other thing with the NBA is that how bad are the Pistons? I thought they had all these young guys.
Yeah, they got Cunningham,
suck.
they got Ivy, and they can't figure it out.
They're not even,
what are they,
they're not even
2-14?
starting Ivy. Ivy's come off the bench.
I
I'm
know.
like, I don't understand why he's not starting. Give the guy a chance.
They're really
What an
poison ivy, I think.
They're 2-15.
Now the Spurs.
Did anyone have the over on them? Don
Probably
Probably.
Angry Jay.
Angry Jay, yeah. He's not here, so he definitely had him.
Yeah, we can't beat up the anger one tonight.
And the Spurs are 3-14 with Wemby.
Eastern Connecticut men just dropped another one tonight.
What,
so we're gonna
what was that?
They're 3-14, but that doesn't mean
That's a
he's not
difference
playing.
maker right there.
No one said he was
Difference
going to
maker right there.
catapult them to the playoffs, but you said he was going to be a bust.
You are what your record says you are.
Oh God.
What are you, Dennis Green?
LeBron made the NBA Finals his second year in the league.
Hey, does Memphis miss Ja a little bit?
You see what Marcus Smart said?
I saw the huddle.
This SHIT is embarrassing.
Yeah. People are paying money to come see us play, and this is what we're doing.
Anyway, he finds himself in a trade and gets himself back to Beantown.
Wouldn't shock me. Well, I don't think he's going to stay in Memphis. He'll demand a trade. Get out of there.
Maybe it's the Dylan Brooks effect. As much as we all hate him, they won with him. Look at the Rockets this year. Way better than people thought they were going to be. I think we all agree he's a clown. But he competes. He gets those young guys to play harder than they're used to playing.
He doesn't stink either.
How come the Bulls can't win?
Billy Donovan.
Last thing on the NBA.
Right.
5-14.
Billy Donovan's become a caricature of a coach.
Another guy that should have never left college.
He's a cartoon now. Like he's just an. What we don't have a coach. What are you going to hire? Billy Donovan. Yeah, he should have
Billy's
stayed
out there.
at Florida.
Should have stayed at Florida forever.
Stay in college. It's a college coach.
You're never going to win when Zach LaVine's your best player either. He's just not that guy.
How about
He's
Drummond
not.
shooting less than 40% from the line, dude? Connecticut's own Andre Drummond.
Yeah. Andre's seen better days.
So at the end, who are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at the Lakers. I hate to say it, hate to say the Lakers, but we will. Celtics will be in a mix.
You think the Lakers, huh?
Without a doubt, the NBA will make sure they're somewhere in the Final Four.
Celtics and Bucks are the best teams in the East. I think the best teams in basketball, personally, but
Well,
I don't disagree with what you said about the Lakers.
Bucks also. The East stinks. The Bucks, the Nuggets, and
I think
I'm not
the
rolling
Nuggets.
out the Suns, man.
No, you can't. If they're healthy,
Are you ruling? Don't laugh at me. Are you ruling out the Knicks knowing that? Don't laugh. Just let me finish.
Try not to
I don't
laugh.
think you have to finish.
Let me finish. They're going to make a trade. They have to. Otherwise, they're going to be the same as they were last year and the
Lottie,
year before.
to get what? You watch. What do they need? I texted you the other night because they had a nice comeback win. And you're like, down the stretch.
What
it
do
was
they
these
need?
guys.
They need to get rid of Randall, and they got to bring in.
Is that because you want to, or because
No, they need to. They need to. If
you
you
got to
want.
get points in return? Then,
What if they can get Embiid?
well, if he's not
He said
available,
don't
can I just
laugh.
get Wilt?
The Knicks got like 10 first-round picks, and quickly, like there's guys that other teams would want. You wouldn't want
I
to
wouldn't want to get rid of quickly.
You're going to have to if you want to bring back a star, though. How many guards do you need?
So you want but you want a big guy?
Yeah. So you would have to get rid of Mitchell Robinson quickly, Randall, and picks. Sixers would say no.
I'd hate to see.
I think you're onto something.
I mean, that's not an awful trade. They got a ton of first-round
I could
picks.
see him in New York too.
Ask Woj. Whoever wins the trade is the one that ends up with the best player, which is Embiid.
You know what sucks about that is Durant was impatient once Draymond became Draymond and was a jerk to him. Like, I always thought a guy like that would end up there.
Durant?
Yeah.
I think he was going to go there until he tore his knee. Because remember that because the Knicks didn't want to pay him that much to not play the first year.
How about Jimmy Buckets? He can't be doing this forever.
He would never go to the Riley would never trade him to the Knicks. So I mean, I would love a player like that. They need that guy, but Riley would never do it.
Did you guys see DeAndre Jordan with the time machine the other night?
No.
Might have been last night. He had like 6 or 8 dunks against the Clippers, his old team.
DeAndre Jordan?
He was
Wow.
like what do you call it? The Toon Squad. He was getting up over everybody and yamming these alley oops. And you know who was throwing them to him? I didn't realize he was on the Nuggets. Is Reggie Jackson?
Mr. October?
From Boston College.
He's tough.
Yeah,
dude.
he's good. He's had a nice career.
Is it the Nuggets? Is that what I'm thinking about?
DeAndre Jordan's on the Nuggets, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think he got off the bench,
I
though.
didn't think Reggie was with them. I mean, they got a ton of guys, too. They'll be there at the end.
They got the best player in the league. They definitely will.
Don Father, you okay?
Don't want to chew in the mic.
Jeez.
Don Father,
I thought I was going to have to spring into action there for a second.
I already started the Heimlich.
Wow.
What happened to Don Father?
Why'd you have to go all the way down there?
Because we hear all this background noise. I want to make sure we can focus on what we got going on here.
Don Father, for those at home,
Talk
Don
about
Father,
a central volleyball
he
game. or
ducked
something.
under the desk and did something. We don't know what he was doing, but apparently it was a life-saving.
I was taking
Looked
over,
like he did
I was,
the
I was taking over for
commission's
Angry Jay.
pants.
Somebody has to go into the desk when Angry Jay's not here. So I
Did you
figured I
do
might
it
as
to
well.
commission's pants? I mean, what did you do over there?
What the hell?
Get out of his pants.
All right, whatever.
I think he saw I think he saw the lack of pomade.
Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right, NBA, whatever. We got months to worry about it. I would like to move on to the National Football League. And this is when we bring in the Don Father. Don Father, let's go.
All right, I want you guys to. It's just a blank. This is one of those blank. I'm going to give you their opponent. You tell me who the team is that I'm talking about. They have played. They've beaten the Giants, the Jets, the Patriots, the Chargers, the Rams, the Giants again, the Panthers, and the Commanders.
Boys,
Yes. How many teams with a winning record have they beat? 0.
don't worry about it.
People are riding the
Matt,
Cowboys like they're the Eagles. They haven't beat a team with a winning record. And when they did, what happened? They got beat by 70 to the Niners. They actually gave the Eagles a decent game, and they also lost to the Cardinals.
Game. We had a first and goal with like 30 to go.
That's why I said a decent game.
All
The
right.
Eagles are playing with them, just like they played with the Bills this weekend.
You were just playing with something.
Cowboys are. Just get off the Cowboys. If the Cowboys can
What
win the
just
next couple
happened?
weeks, but the Cowboys actually could get their first win against a winning record tomorrow night against the Seahawks, and if they win, the Seahawks won't have a winning record anymore. So it's still they'll be back on the no teams with a winning record. I mean, they could actually go the entire season and not beat a team with a winning record because they're not going to beat the Eagles when they play them again either. I mean, and
you
people
know
are talking
this?
about them.
So what do you take out of that? What's your take? on that?
Everybody's saying the Cowboys are going to be the second best team in the NFC. It could be a
Who's
prohibitive
everybody?
favorite. The prognosticators on ESPN.
First of all, I don't want to mention ESPN on this thing ever
Well, then
again.
don't ask me who said it.
Freaking Stephen A. Smith. Their news now is
The
what
GOAT.
Stephen A. Smith says.
The GOAT.
If you go on the app, oh, Stephen A. Smith is down on the Cowboys. There's like a video on it. What? How's that news? Report the games.
Best talent of our generation.
Report
right
the
there.
games.
TMZ.
That's what it is.
Who's our dumpster fire of the week? Could be a lot of teams.
Giants won, right?
Carolina.
Giants are hot. 2 in a row for the Giants.
Jets.
Oh,
New
Carolina.
England.
Jets. Who's their quarterback? Kevin mentioned it before. I mean, Tim Boyle.
From Xavier.
Xavier.
Though. I mean, come
Terrific
on. That's
kid.
your alma mater.
They went, what, I think it was 11 quarters without scoring a touchdown. I mean, that's just, they're embarrassing.
Should have just stuck with Zach and
And they were,
wrote it out.
they had third or fourth odds to win the Super Bowl beginning of the year.
Well,
Really?
that changed 4 snaps in.
Aaron's
so.
got cleared to practice. See that today? Aaron Rodgers cleared to practice.
Hey, Aaron?
Cleared to practice. You might hate the guy, but if he actually comes back this year, that would be amazing. I can't stand him, but that would still
You think
be
he's
amazing.
going to come back?
I think when they're going to be 4-9, it's not going to make much sense for him to come back, but
It took me 4 years to get over my Achilles injury. I couldn't mow the lawn for 3.5 years, and then
you sure that's what it
bounced
was?
back. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
You think he just wants to come back to see if he's going to be healthy moving forward, or
No, I give him credit, though. Man, that guy sticks around. He's
He's on the sideline. He's got the headset
He's a
on.
positive influence on the sidelines. We'll see what happens.
No, he's done a great job with Zach Wilson.
He's a good mentor.
Jesus.
I'd rather have
Jets.
Zach
Come on,
from
Jets. Figure it
I'd
out.
rather have Zach from Saved by the Bell. I think.
I'd rather have Freeman. I'd rather have
Aren't they
direct
the same
snap
guy?
to direct snap to
his
Freeman
mom?
McNeil right now.
Yeah, no
Ooh,
kidding.
good call.
Number?
24.
Let's go.
All right, we'll jump
Track
in a
record.
little.
Not the number stuff again.
We'll jump a little start setting before we get into some fan favorite trivia. So last week, if y'all listened to the cast last week, as we
Y'all.
yeah,
Oh, you
y'all.
back in Texas?
I was this week.
I know. You can tell.
Start. I said
Cowboy hat on
start.
top of your head.
Start.
The
That's
Spurs.
not a hat. I said start Trevor Lawrence, 364 yards, 2 tutties last week. I said start Bijan, first 2 touchdown game of his career. Right, and I said sit Kamara and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, 16 yards. That's just
Well, when you
that's
don't have a
falling.
when you don't have a quarterback,
The father's
yeah.
on fire.
that team. Oh, I don't think I've been wrong in like
No,
3
you-
weeks.
You know, Angry
You've
Jay's
been
been
wrong.
knocking you.
Of course he has. What else does he have to do? He's got to knock somebody. He's 3'2", and he's
Is he that
Oh,
small?
no, he's
I never got that impression.
3'2", and his team lost by 20 tonight. I mean, well, I'd be angry too if I was him.
Angry will come in here with a tape measure next week.
Well, listen, he can put that on you. He ain't touching me with that again. I got the over last time, though, when he tried that. This week, we're going to start Tua. I know people say, oh, you got to start Tua. He's been bad his last 3.
To what?
I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. But he has less than 13 points in 2 of his last 3 games. I know what you're going with. But he's going to have a huge game against Washington. Washington's terrible. They've allowed 20 points to quarterbacks 8 times this year, including 2 in a row to Tommy DeVito and Tyrod Taylor a couple weeks ago. I mean,
Tommy DeVito was good in Twins.
Oh yeah, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia too, and Taxi.
This is
Alex Rieger?
hot stuff right here. You gotta say Gino against your boys.
Yeah, Jersey
As much
Mike's
as I don't like the boys,
salivating over that sandwich.
Gino is falling off a cliff right now. Gino Smith falling off a cliff. He's scored 16 points or less in all but 2 games this year, and Dallas is holding quarterbacks to 12 fantasy points a game or less. So Dallas might be overrated, but they're tough on opposing quarterbacks, especially at home.
I'm not seeing where the overrated thing's coming in with Dallas. Is that personal
Because of the
for you?
schedule.
100%.
He's a Giant fan.
Who's a Giants fan? I'm just an NFL fan.
Oh, here we
I'm,
go.
I'm very, very neutral.
2 cents in about there's only 13 teams with a winning record, and 4 of them are 6-5. So
Yeah, it's
there
'cause
aren't
it's
many
a national
teams-
football
And the Cowboys
league.
haven't played any of them.
It's parity. That's what
It's
they
the
want.
National Football League. Executive producer Kevin Ross. Go ahead.
That's a good drop.
With the abacus too. He brought an abacus in there from that one.
We're starting Rashad White this week against Carolina. Rashad White's been great. Everybody's great against Carolina. But he's had 15 or more PPR points 5 of his last 6 games, and Carolina's allowed 17 points per game to running backs 9 times this season. We're sitting the Terminator against his former team. Pittsburgh D has allowed less than 3 yards a carry in their last 3 games since Cam Hayward's been back. Their offense still stinks without.
New OC.
They've got 400 yards last week for the first time, right? Without Canada. First time they've outgained their opponents all season, even though they still have a good record. All season. So, again, you're going to sit the Terminator because he also has 6 receiving yards total in his 3 games back. Total. In 3 games. And you need him to get PPR or he's not a value. Receivers, we're going to start Ayuk against the Eagles. I'm glad Jay's not here. But Philly's terrible against the perimeter. They've allowed 12 touchdown receptions to guys in the perimeter this year and given the most fantasy points to perimeter receivers. Tough on the inside, which is weird because they're bad against tight ends. Good on slot receivers, bad in the perimeter. It's just weird they kind of have that little layer, but I think their secondary is overrated. They also give up a ton of points. People don't, with Eagles defense, they give up a ton of points. They give up like 28 points a game, I think. I mean, it's terrible.
What a game. Last game, though, huh?
That was
Did you
probably
think
the
that
game of the
field
year,
goal
I
was
think.
going in?
No, I was hoping it wasn't, but it was amazing.
Hell of a kick.
If I'm Josh Allen, I'm disgusted after that game. But we're also sitting Chris Godwin this week. He's just terrible. He's averaging 4 single-digit fantasy points the last 4 games. Bake is
Bake's
playing
just
well,
not getting
too.
he's not getting in the ball, though.
No, he's Evans. He's Max guy. Evans. I mean, Evans is
Pretty good.
a revival. He's going to have, what I said, 10th year in a row. Evans, by the way, is going to have 1,000 yards. First guy in the NFL history to do that. We're starting for tight ends. We're wrapping up with tight ends. Starting Evan Ingram versus the Bengals. Bengals stink, and since he allowed 20 points to, or 20 points to Pat Fryermuth this weekend. I mean, that's nothing you're going to worry about. You're going to sit the guy with 2 touchdowns last week, Tyler Higbee. He's playing a lot. He's Browns. They don't give up points to tight ends.
I don't know.
They've given up double-digit points to one tight end this entire year.
You're
That's
down
too
on
much.
the Browns?
Yeah, they didn't look good last week.
Who's their starting quarterback this week?
Could be Flacco.
God.
He's QB2, I saw.
I know, but DTR is not ready to go.
How do you know? You were in a car for 8 hours.
He's concussed. He is concussed.
You're concussed
I was
in a ride.
I was in the car for 10 hours.
All right, Mac, let's go with some trivia.
Go.
Hey, by the
waiting.
way, Don Fowler just flipped to another page, by the way, for the audience. So we're going to be here a while.
Did we hear that? Oh, no.
boy.
This is a short
Oh,
page.
boy.
Everyone over most of this. Lamar Jackson had 39 rushing yards this weekend to get to 5,000 for his career. He's a 4th quarterback to get to 5,000 rushing yards for his career. Who are the other 3? In no order.
Michael Vick.
He is one of them.
Randall Cunningham.
He is not.
Fran Tarkenton.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton is 2. Studio audience can participate. Who is the 3rd, well, now 4th, but quarterback with 5,000 rushing yards for their career?
Steve Young.
I was going to say, but they didn't run it much, though, back then,
I
right?
can give you a hint. This person is active.
What team does he play for? I'm just kidding.
What's his name?
Kyler? Josh Allen.
Nope.
5,000. Oh, man.
And Jackson hasn't been in the league. How many years?
I think this is 7.
So he
6?
averages
6.
When you say active, is he a starter?
He is a starter.
Broncos.
Oh, Russell
Oh,
Wilson.
the muscle.
Yeah,
Are you
Russell
telling
right
me
there.
Lamar
Kevin's
Jackson,
got-
700-800 yards a year on the ground?
hit 11 one year.
Man.
This is an easy one, a layup. Jonathan Taylor now has 37 rushing TDs, even though he missed a full season basically in his first 4 years, breaking the Colts record for rushing, not receiving, rushing touchdowns in the first 4 years. Whose record did he beat?
Marshall.
Yeah, I figured it was Marshall or Edge, right? Those are the only two
Alley-oop.
they could possibly. I had to give you guys something easy.
Dickerson?
You know?
It might have been Dickerson.
Might have been, but it
Goggles.
wasn't. This one might be tricky. So our boy DeVito from the
Run
Giants.
DMC? All right.
Our boy DeVito from the Giants.
Sabo.
Only undrafted rookie quarterback to ever beat Bill Belichick, as he beat him, last weekend. One other undrafted quarterback beat Bill Belichick, and I'll give you hints because this is a little.
Was
Angry
Bill
might get it.
coaching for New England at the time?
Yes. Yes, he was. This was. I'll even give you the year. 2005.
That's a tremendous help.
Division? Come on, quickly.
NFC South.
I love that that air.
Remember, he wasn't a rookie, but he was undrafted.
Kurt Warner?
That would have been good if he played in the NFC South.
Aaron Brooks.
in the West.
Jake Delhomme.
Boom!
Did you?
Wow, Lonnie! That could have been the answer of the year
Played
so
for the
far.
Browns.
Lonnie.
Played for the Browns.
What number?
17?
You got it.
Wow,
Hey,
Lonnie's on
how
fire.
about the NFL? Like, everybody thought Josh Allen, they're 6-6, right? He's going to win eventually. He hasn't won anything. How about Burrow? Can't stay on the field. All these
Slow down, slow down.
franchise
It's his
quarterbacks
First time. I mean, jeez.
can't stay on the field.
All
Broke
right.
his hand.
Moving
Can't
on.
stay on it. You know who stayed on the field was Bernie.
Oh, here we go.
From the U, baby.
Bernie Fine. He stayed on Jeff's field.
Who has the best touchdown interception ratio in the NFL this year? What starting quarterback? Best touchdown interception ratio in the NFL this year. I'll even give you the ratio if it helps. 20-4. Touchdowns to interception ratio. Not saying he has the most, but that's the best ratio. So it's what, 5? Obviously. I'm like, I don't have my abacus out, Kevin. That's 5, right? 5-1? 20-4?
4 touchdowns.
He's a starting
Hurts.
quarterback this year. It is not. AFC.
Tua?
Nope.
Two of what?
Tua has too many interceptions, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Not Patty. Russell the Muscle?
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
Twice in
thot
the
he
same
was
show.
having a down year. He's had a
Revival.
great year.
I'm not big on him, but I don't like
had
him.
a great
but
year. They've
Revival.
won 5 in a row.
So to piggyback off that, who has the best single season touchdown to interception ratio?
Somebody
So
with a
Russ
million
was
touchdowns.
5-1. I'll tell you right now, the person who had it was 14-1.
Breeze.
That's
So-
a good guess.
So he had 28-2 or 14-1.
I mean Brady.
Brady.
What do you have?
2016. That's when he had 56 or what? No, was it
Oh, that's
56?
after Moss.
It was
He had
2016.
56 and like 4
Well, that was with Moss.
interceptions.
That was Moss. It was Moss. It was 2000.
Yeah, but he had Gronk instead, and Gronk and the guy from
So
Bristol.
16 is
Okay.
unbelievable, by the way. All right, Mac. That's it for trivia.
All right.
Great job, Don Father.
Good job.
Pomade looks good. Only a good job?
You did a good job.
All right.
He always does a good job. Solid. You know what you're going to get. He's
NCAA
consistent.
football. Go Dogs. Georgia, number 1. Looks like Georgia. The Huskies are in the Final Four, it looks like. Not those Huskies. The Washington Huskies. Florida State. They got a quarterback issue.
Well, the other guy's out for the year. Like
And-
his career is over.
And then Michigan. So it looks like those 4 are the 4 right now. I got to tell you something. I watched Michigan, Ohio State. I loved it. Watch every down. God, do I not like watching that Big Ten football? I wish they'd open it up a little bit and get
What,
some.
you don't like run, pass? Run, pass
No.
every possession?
No, or run. It's even
Grind.
worse. But anyway, they're big and physical, and they're old school. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, that conference hasn't evolved.
And they have no chance to beat Georgia.
Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Bama on the outside looking in. They'd obviously be in next year, as well as 4 other teams. But do you see any of those teams jumping in, and how?
No, I think Georgia's going to beat Alabama. So
Yeah.
Georgia's in. I think Florida State is going to get in. I mean, ACC's bad even with the backup quarterback. You can't keep an undefeated team that wins their Power 5 conference out, right? You just can't. I think Oregon beats the winner of the Oregon-Washington game
Is in.
I think Oregon can get in. with one loss if they win it.
I think Florida State's going to be interesting. They could lose without their quarterback. I mean, they struggled. Granted, Louisville lost to Kentucky this past weekend, but Florida State has struggled against, a 5-win Florida team. And they had one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Without him, they're not the same team. And Louisville was ranked 10th.
They were.
So Louisville can give them a good game. And Louisville, they put their cards down. I mean, they didn't have to win. They're not getting into they're not going to get into the playoff anyway. So maybe they kind of
Well, Michigan's
backed
in
off.
because they're playing Iowa.
22,
That's going to be
22-point line.
like 27-0. So Georgia and Michigan, I think, are in.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, all these are. You think Georgia gets in even if they lose to Bama?
I think it depends on who else
Yeah.
wins or loses. Because they say now, if Bama beats Georgia, Texas wins. How do you put Bama in over Texas? Because Texas beat Bama head-to-head, but then Georgia beat Alabama beat Georgia.
Is there ever a scenario, and is this the one where an SEC school would not make it?
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't want to see that day, but yeah, it could
No,
happen.
honestly, that's crazy. I mean, the SEC championship could be the national championship just about every year.
And Georgia hasn't lost in 3 years. I mean,
Ohio State's the only team in the top 8 that has no chance to get to the Final Four because they don't play. They don't play any more
they said
games.
they would need
Everybody's got to. Everybody's got to lose.
It'd have to
Yeah.
be perfect for them this weekend.
I
That's gonna be
don't. I
tough.
don't hate the fact that Ohio State's got no shot either. By the way,
Oh,
they
it's
drive me
great.
crazy. LeBron likes Ohio State. Do you know that?
The
Of course he
GOAT?
does.
Of course the GOAT likes him.
No. LeBron James.
Yeah, that's what I said. The GOAT.
Derek Jeter was at Michigan all week at practices.
Of course, he was offered by Michigan to play a little basketball.
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo.
Cheater.
All right, so interesting week. What'd you say?
What
Nothing.
did you say on the mic?
Anything.
Don't you dare! All right, so
Cheater.
we're done with professional sports. That includes college football.
Let's get on to the real
Professional.
thing.
Connecticut. A lot of upsets happened last night in the quarterfinals of the state high school championships. But the commissioner's son for Southington and our guest, about 2-3 weeks ago, Justice Harris's son for Southington, come up with a big win last night on a nice night in Manchester.
Balmy night.
Yeah, at about.
Me and Bobby were sharing one of those Snuggie things together. We were inside together. It was so cold
Cute.
last night. Very cute. No, not the first time. Won't be the last either, I hope.
I got a hot
pillows
chocolate
either.
poured in
No,
my
those were not
mouth.
pillows. Yeah, we froze our
I did
butts
the
off last
Gatorade
night.
thing. I dumped
But-
the Gatorade.
so-
bucket.
So
Commish
Bobby
didn't think you brought a hand warmer, but apparently he did.
Yeah, exactly. It was very warm. Bobby said at one point, "I'm going to pour hot chocolate down my pants," which I thought was a great idea, but the
don't-
scald marks were terrible.
Didn't work out. Yeah.
But Bobby happens to be my son's godfather.
I know
So
that.
he showed up by himself, came to the game, saw my son get the start last night. Southington, yeah, Ray Williams, Justice's kid, 5 touchdowns.
5 last night?
5. And, they're on to Staples, see what happens on Sunday, but it's going to be exciting. If you guys can make it on Sunday, Staples, Westport, 12:30.
What's the line, Commish?
I think Staples is favored by a touchdown, but hey,
Five
We
and a
got
half.
him. We got him. The
we
Blue
got
Knights
anything
got
can
him.
happen.
I heard it's 5.5.
Listen, as a dad, I just want them to get to the finals, and then when they get to the finals, I want them to win too. But you know what? It's been really exciting and it's fun. Southington doesn't sneak in by anyone. Maybe this is the year. I don't know.
They are a little under the radar this year.
Well,
Their 4 losses were against that. That's a great schedule, though.
Yeah, Maloney, Staples, they lost by a touchdown.
Cheshire, yeah.
Cheshire was really good. They lost last night, but yeah, I'm really excited for Sunday and nothing better
should
than high
be.
school sports.
You should be. Congratulations and good luck to your son.
You know, it's
Go
funny.
Blue
I was
Knights.
asking some guys who went to the whose sons went to the state finals in baseball. Football is a different feeling because it's such a team game. So I'm a little bit more relaxed and I can embrace the team concept of it. But it's still nerve wracking.
Of course.
Still, you want your kid to get there. And Bobby and I were lucky enough to be on the team that went to the finals and lost.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I say we went to the finals. You
Sure,
know what I
of
mean?
course.
So
Yeah,
This
you
many
can never-
years later, we won it.
we won.
You
yeah,
can never
me too.
take that away. You can never take that
And
away.
we both went 3 for 3. But yeah,
I thought you missed first base, or was that a different
no,
game?
it was a different game.
Sophomore
No,
year.
it was
That was
sophomore year. So-
three different games.
I hit a bomb my sophomore year. Most people don't do that, but that happened. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Sunday, and high school football is great. I've got the bug.
The
you know what I
culture,
mean?
it's a culture,
It's unbelievable. It's not like any other sport because it's such a team game.
Mm-hmm.
Next man up mentality, and for my son, that's what happened. You got a
Sure.
couple
Hey, he took
injuries, and
advantage
there
of
he
his
is. Now he's
opportunity.
starting. So, We'll see what happens.
And for all you athletes out there waiting to get your turn, Commish, we talked about this game one.
Opening night, Bobby's there with me, and my son comes off the field at the end of the game. He played just on extra points, and he was almost in tears. And he says, I'm working too hard for this. I said, well, you got to work harder. He goes, I don't know if I can work harder. I said, people are going to get hurt, right?
Attrition, yeah.
People are going to get hurt. Keep presenting yourself. Show the coaches you're into the game. Pump your teammates up, and that's what happens.
Take every rep like it's the last one, and things will take care of themselves.
Yeah, it's been very fun. I have to say, as a dad, to get to this point is more than I ever could expect from the kids. You don't know what's going to happen, but to see it happen and see them win and see them be happy and have another game to play.
And they
is
grew
awesome.
up together playing football.
Yeah,
I mean, always on the same team.
Right. Exactly.
That's neat.
Yeah.
With all the parents and everything. Cool.
Yeah, the culture is unbelievable. It's unlike any
That's
other
for
sport.
sure.
So let's go Knights on Sunday.
And coming from a small town on Route 8, Thomaston,
How's their football team doing?
Well, undefeated. We've never lost.
Undefeated, yeah.
Yeah.
Not many towns can say that.
I want to chime in on something here. When I was covering sports, a lot of the teams I covered being in Meriden were like L, double L, and all the time guys would say, but it's only Class S. And that used to drive me crazy because it's apples to apples. You know what I mean? It's these teams are competing against their like teams. You know what I mean? So I give Bobby, obviously we all give Bobby respect, but to win those state championships and to compete against your own, it's a big deal. I mean, there's no difference to me between an L and an S because you're competing apples to apples.
Tell the Ansonia football players there's a difference.
I was just going to
Good luck
say.
with that.
Well, Ansonia lost on Thanksgiving this year.
Or
So.
Bloomfield.
They lost to Naugatuck. Naugatuck lost their first round game.
Yeah.
And then Ansonia is going to win the whole thing for, the 47th time in the history of the school at Class S.
But they're going to meet Bloomfield, and that winner can take on whoever, and you never know what happens in that game.
But
they're going to play Bloomfield.
There's something to be
that the
said
matchup?
about a team like Bobby had where there's generational players coming in.
I think Ansonia plays Cromwell for the right to play Bloomfield.
That's what I mean.
Yep, I got you.
Go ahead.
So anyways, let me get back to Bobby here.
I think we've heard enough about Bobby. What's next?
His favorite subject.
I know a lot of guys like
let's
that.
move on.
But I'm just saying, like, it takes. These are special teams. I'm seeing how special it is to get to where they're getting right now. That's all I'm saying.
It's cool. High school sports can
that's
be really
awesome.
awesome.
It's very exciting.
All right, so who'd you rather? You only get one word association. Tonight, we're debuting Croc's favorite, the number game.
The number game.
Yep.
Okay.
I knew that Angry Jay would miss out on this, so I sent him the numbers. We're sticking with 1 through 10 tonight.
Okay.
It could be any sport. You could go with a goat or just a guy on your radar. Angry Jay, took a lot of my thunder, so I'm going to try to go opposite him.
So do we not want to do what everyone else is doing, or first?
You could.
Okay.
Just what's coming to your mind, obviously starting with number 1. And I'm going to throw his out there first. I'm sorry. You could copy it if you want.
It's going to be everyone's.
He's Yankee favorite.
Yeah.
He goes Billy Martin.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah.
That's the only one that came to my head, to be honest with you.
What number is Ozzie Smith?
One.
got
Yeah,
it.
Ozzie Smith.
The Big O is number 1 too, right?
Was he?
Yeah. Oscar
Was he?
Robinson's number 1.
Terrible at numbers.
But I had Billy Martin.
I'm going Penny. Penny was like right at the right time for
1
me.
cent.
Yeah, because 1 and 2. Are you sure about Oscar Robinson?
I'm pretty sure.
Because there was a time where 1 and 2 weren't allowed in basketball because the rule makers were so ahead of their time. They thought when they went 1 or 2 shots that it would be confusing. So, and definitely in high school, we couldn't order numbers 1 and 2 until probably mid 2000s, like 2005 ish. But anyway, can anyone guess who Angry Jay's number 2 is?
It's the only
Jeter.
professional player that's ever worn number 2 in any sport.
You think so? Okay. All right. Who is it?
The captain.
Derek Jeter.
Jeter. All right. Do you have another
Even
number
I
2?
could say Jeter. No.
You too?
Wrestling. Yes, I liked him actually.
What do you got?
Jeter.
Could you even pick another number 2?
I got one.
Okay.
Dion. Florida State.
Florida State.
Come on, you guys are like. I might have to switch this to a Mount Rushmore where we all got to pick our own or something. Jesus.
Well,
All right,
why don't we
number 3? Are
Why
you
don't
all
we not
taking-
do J's? Like, put the phone down.
All right, I'll say it at the end then. Number 3, Jay says Babe Ruth. Too bad. Who's your number 3?
I have Babe Ruth, obviously. You could do every Yankee, but I'll say Diana Taurasi.
Ooh, look at you.
I'm gonna throw
Jeff,
this
if you
one
look
out
at me
there.
like that one more time, I'm going to mess up your hair.
God almighty.
Rick Meyer, quarterback
Notre Dame. I love that.
Rick Wallow in the line.
Don Father.
Iverson.
I was going to do Iverson, you little jerk.
I bet you were.
I'll do Bobby Sura.
How about my favorite number 3, though, Karan Butler?
Good one.
You know what? You always loved
I
Butler.
love Karan.
Good one.
Number 4, the Iron Horse for Jay.
One of my all-time favorite athletes, Lenny Dykstra.
Let's go Nails.
Still love him today.
Brett Favre.
How about Bobby Orr?
Number 4, Bobby Orr. I'm going Deshaun Watson. He's on my mind right now. I want him to come back for the Brownings.
How about Ben
He's
Gordon?
not coming
Ben
back.
Gordon's another 4. We could do
poor
UConn all
guy.
day.
Number 5, Angry did not take a Yankee here.
He took Johnny Bench a bit.
No, is that who you're taking?
Yes.
Who do you got?
I got to go to Clipper, the Italian guy. I have to. I'm sorry.
George Brett.
Good one.
And
That's
you know,
a really good one.
Good one.
guess who he went with?
Brett.
George Brett.
Did he?
Yep.
Come on.
What Mercer played for Kentucky? What was his name?
Ron.
Ron. Was he number 5? Yeah,
I think he was.
I got him. All right.
Was Turner number 5 too?
Oh yeah, Turner. He was with Wayne Turner.
Yeah.
No, Beaver Turner.
All right. Number 6. Anybody?
Bill Russell.
Dr. J, I would think.
That's a good one. Bill Russell. Come back to me because I want to do an obscure one.
I want to go Mr. Torrey, but I'm going to say Jerome
Oh,
Bettis
Mr.
at Notre
Torrey.
Dame.
The boss.
Now we're back to you already.
All right. How about
Snake
Stan the
draft.
Man?
Oh, we got some good number 6s. Stan the Man leads us right into number 7.
How could you not take number 7, Mickey Mantle?
Come
right?
on, man.
Even I have to say that one too. 2 Yankees.
Dan Pastorini, Houston Oilers, because he got his, pushed in by the steel curtain all those years. I remember as a kid watching him get pummeled to the turf.
I like those games back
Yeah,
then, though, when
I know.
they used to rip Earl Campbell's jersey off
Yeah.
while trying to tackle him.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going Michael Vick. Hydra Beagle, Vixen Eagle. He was generational. Listen, this would be a story in a 30-30 forever if he stayed healthy and stayed out of trouble.
I
'Cause
believe
he
that,
was-
too.
He was super, super. Hydra Beagle, Vixen Eagle. Number 8, Jay goes with Little League is great because it keeps people off the streets, parents. If you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Yogi?
It ain't over till it's over.
Great
You got-
documentary out there.
Yeah,
on
I
Yogi
watched that.
too.
It was really
very,
good.
very good. I'm gonna go Kobe.
Let's go.
I had Kobe too. My head. 8. I was waiting for that one.
I'm going to go with Yaz.
Yeah,
Remember
buddy.
those-
Gold
You want to know
sock.
why I liked Yaz? He popped up to Captain
Yeah,
Puff.
exactly.
Hey, right here.
Yeah,
Right there,
Puff got over
Captain
the shoulder. They both dropped their shoulder, right? Yaz dropped the shoulder.
Yeah,
Puff
and then
dropped the shoulder.
Steinbrenner came running out to the field, dancing on the field.
The mock neck on and the captain's hat, and the
White
blue
patent
jacket.
leather shoes.
Oh, Yaz was good though.
So I
That's
don't- yeah.
good.
I don't know if Kevin Costner's going to approve of my number 8, but I'm going with him anyway. Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong there.
Number 9, everybody.
I'm going to go
Nine
with
is a
this.
tough one.
I'm going to go with the Splendid
You
Splinter.
have to go with him, but not the Yankee fans.
I'm not going.
No,
I'm going with the.
You're seeing him diving over third base, right?
Well, you can go Nettles, but I'll go Maris.
Well, I'm going to Nettles.
Would you believe that Jay went Maris and Captain Puff?
Of course he did.
Lottie, can you tell the audience why Captain Puff is called Captain Puff?
You guys never heard these stories? Captain Puff, Mr. Badal? So Captain Puff was a brawler. He was a fighter, and he liked to have his adult beverages. So he would go to a club or go to a bar, and he would start some trouble. And he wasn't afraid to swing, but he was also smart enough to know
Get
when
out
it
of
was time to
dodge.
go. So he would start all these issues, and then Pinello would jump in, and Munson would jump in, and this guy would jump in, and this guy. Nettles nowhere to be found. Gone. Captain Puff.
Great nickname.
That was his teammate's nickname for him because that's what he was notorious for.
We had a friend in college that did the same thing. We called him Hoffa.
Hoffa.
Because no one knew where he was.
Disappeared, yeah.
I just saw something where Captain Puff, Dent,
One of his fingers disappeared, too.
and Rivers were at a function together down in Florida.
Get out.
Yeah, some type
Racetrack?
of fundraiser.
We didn't know?
Fundraiser for Mickey, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was Dent and Nettles, and I never got a phone call.
Ridiculous.
You get quick on
I
the
mean,
phone.
we gave him an hour.
Should we call him? All right, so...
Well, I got another great number 9. Gordie Howell.
Oh.
All right, Mr. Bedell's
Good one.
muffling.
Good one.
He put a pillow over his mouth and.
If you didn't hear that, Don,
Wouldn't be the first time.
Don Father tried to strangle him with a pillow. So
Who?
Number 9, the great Gordie Howell.
It's hockey night in Hartford. All right, so my number 9. I don't know if you ever heard the Max Kellerman thing. Like, if you want, I get to pick one guy to make a 3, Curry or Andre Iguodala. You ever hear this? I want Iguodala. That's
did.
my number 9. MVP of the finals
I know.
over the loser. All right, number 10. What do we got for number 10? I'm going to start us off.
Go ahead. You start.
Mo Cheeks, man. Who was tougher than Mo Cheeks?
You know who was tougher than Mo Cheeks? Walt Clyde Frazier.
Please.
No one's
do you mean,
tougher than
please?
him was a 2-time Super Bowl champion, soon-to-be Hall of Famer Eli Manning.
you know who's,
Christ.
you know who's tougher than all them? Chris Chambliss.
Oh.
76.
You know who's
It's a
not
bomb.
tougher than any of them? Angry Jay's Rick Cerrone, the Italian stallion.
Is that what he had?
Yeah, right there. Look.
He had one good year.
Probably the
Yeah,
greatest
when
number
you-
10 of all time, and I think he recently passed away this year. Pele.
Oh.
I go like these, I score. What movie was that? Come on,
Oh,
what
it
movie
was,
was
Was
it?
that with Sylvester Stallone?
It was. He was the goalie.
I
Come
know.
on,
I know.
what movie?
Vision Quest.
Close. It does begin
No,
with
it
a
was
V.
with
Victory.
Victory.
I know. I'm
Yay.
kidding.
Johnny Drama.
I thought Rick Cerrone's greatest year was when he retired.
Yeah. I mean, when Ron Hassey's better than you, that's saying something,
no,
man.
Cerrone was decent.
He was good for 1 year. He was
2
good
years.
in 80.
right, listen.
Look it up. He was good
so
in 80.
we called him the
The
Italian
team wasn't.
stallion.
He was.
Huh?
The team wasn't, but
Listen,
he was.
we called him the Italian stallion. Across town in Queens, they had an Italian stallion. Who was
Mazzilli.
it? Lee Mazzilli. What number
One of
was
your
he?
all-time favorite guys.
Number
16.
10.
Yep, 16.
You love man.
Whose son played for UConn, by the way.
Yeah, and who big
Baseball.
leagued me at Rockcats Park or whatever they call it. All right, this just in. Luis Severino staying in New York.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Except
Thank
with the
God, thank
Mets.
God not with us.
Except he's going to Queens. We got rid of another one. Him and Bobby Munoz and who was the other
Oh,
guy?
there you go. Abreu's gone.
Who was the big guy? Dylan Betances. They
Betances.
never work out over there.
I don't think Betances threw an inning for them. Didn't he, like, hurt his shoulder in spring training or something like that?
There's
Hey, you guys think Glaber's going or what?
hopefully.
If Glaber is gone, that's good news. That means we got Soto and Bellinger
Yeah.
because they got to shed some salary.
I hope so. So anyway, a little tease with some future interviews coming up. A lot happening behind the scenes,
Oh,
man.
it's
We got
unbelievable.
an apparel store coming out. Multiple logos. Check us out. You don't have to listen to the whole episode anymore. You could just catch a segment. But I don't know. Maybe we could drop a bomb about basketball at some point from somebody. Maybe we can get the tallest player on a Division I basketball team in the area. Maybe we'll get the head coach of University of Connecticut baseball.
Might.
Stay tuned, everybody. I think we're going to get all 3 of those, if not 2 out of 3. Batting .667 is not a bad batting average. Don Father, pomade looking nice. Lottie,
One here in the place.
studio, commish.
Thanks for coming, guys.
I want to wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, that is
on a
awesome.
weekend.
Absolutely.
Let's see what happens.
Welcome back, Mr. Bedell. And at Crocker, as always, go Steelers. Executive producer Kevin Ross signing off. on
Overseeing.
the
He's
Bristol
overseeing, too. I like
Boys.
the way.
Good show, guys.
Yeah, it was pretty good.